Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, human remains were discovered after a fire in Amity.
Plus, following a recount, the voters' decision will stand in regards to cruise ship passengers in Bar Harbor. We'll hear from people on both sides.
And Senator Angus King has proposed legislation that could heavily impact Acadia National Park. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. We'll have those stories and the latest on a deadly fire that happened early this morning in Bangor. At least one person confirmed dead following that fire. We'll have those details coming up. But first, a check of the forecast. Looking like after a couple of rainy days, we'll have some sunshine today.
I know, possibly a rainy, snowy mix tomorrow, too. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Here we go this morning. Some advisories to talk about. We have a gale warning posted until 7 a.m. this morning along the coast, as we've been watching for active surf recently. Also, some advisories further off towards the north with a winter weather advisory that'll run through Tuesday afternoon because of some opportunities for some snow that will be moving in rather soon. Meanwhile, this morning we've had some snow showers tracking in from the north and going toward the south. This will be getting out of here throughout the morning period, and in fact, we have a nice day on the way. Once it clears up the rest of the day, we'll be looking rather dry. There's the area low pressure right about in here just off to the north that's sending the snowfall in our direction, and again, that will be clearing out this morning. As for Futurecast, we're showing that partly cloudy sky today, a little breezy at times, but notice the winds will be backing off later on tonight with just some passing clouds as we head towards early Tuesday morning. So for today, we have mid-40s, partly cloudy and windy, and that northwest wind gusting up to about 30 miles per hour at times. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing that partly cloudy sky with temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you later on. Well, fire crews have been on the scene of a serious house fire in Bangor this morning. We have confirmed that at least one person died as a result of that fire. Reporter Alex Schley has been on the scene. She joins us now live with the latest details. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Craig. That's right. Right after 5 o'clock this morning, dispatchers began getting phone calls from residents here on Fairways, which is a neighborhood just next to Bangor Municipal Golf Course, about a house being on fire. Now, thankfully, they were able to get here quite quickly and extinguish the fire. I can say by the time I arrived at 5:30, the fire was already out. However, with that being said, there still was one person that has been deceased.
Unfortunately, there is one victim who is deceased at the scene right now. No other victims were found in the building. No other injuries or anything to report.
Now, they are not identifying the victim at this time, and the state fire marshal is taking over the investigation. Just a few moments ago, their mobile command unit did arrive, so they're now investigating that. They don't believe there's any danger to the public or anything of that, and the cause of it is still ongoing. Live in Bangor, I'm Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Thank you for that report, Alex. We'll have more information on this as it becomes available. Well, human remains have been located following a fire that badly damaged a home on Saturday in Amity. According to Maine Department of Public Safety spokesperson Shannon Moss, state fire marshals were called to a house on Emily Drive around 2:30 p.m. after reports of a structure fire. Moss says the building received serious fire damage. After investigating, officials from the fire marshal's office located human remains in the fire debris. The remains have been transported to the office of the chief medical examiner in Augusta for identification. The fire remains under investigation.
Well, meanwhile, authorities are still unsure what caused a structure fire in Vassalboro. It broke out a little after 11 o'clock Saturday morning on Main Street. The building was fully involved with flames when the first crews arrived on the scene. They concentrated much of their effort on saving a nearby farmhouse that was about 25 feet away from the flames. That farmhouse sustained heat damage, resulting in melted siding, but it's otherwise okay. Meanwhile, the old brick garage was left gutted by the fire, and officials still aren't sure what caused it.
Maine State Police are investigating a shooting that happened Sunday morning in Belgrade. According to a Department of Public Safety spokesperson, the Augusta Regional Communications Center received a 911 call reporting a shooting at a residence on Point Road in Belgrade just after 11 a.m. Troopers responded and an adult female was taken to a hospital via life flight with serious injuries. An adult male was taken into custody. Authorities say this was an isolated incident and there is no danger to the public. Additional information will be released as the investigation progresses.
Well, November is National Native American Heritage Month, and the executive director of the Wabanaki Alliance is shining a spotlight on violence against Indigenous women and people. Malian Bryant testified before a congressional hearing about the matter. Our Callie Warren has more.
It felt very good to be seen and heard as somebody from Maine, as a Wabanaki woman, as somebody from the East.
This is Malian Bryant.
Ndiliwizi, Malian Bryant, Naganujaya, Bonawapskeg. My name is Malian Bryant.
She's the Wabanaki Alliance's executive director and a member of the Penobscot Nation. Bryant testified alongside other Indigenous female leaders at a congressional hearing earlier in the week as the only attendee from the Northeast.
When an Indigenous woman goes missing, there is not the same attention and action as when a Caucasian woman does. The primary reasons for this are threefold: societal indifference, jurisdictional and coordination issues, and a lack of resources for tribal law enforcement agencies.
And from Washington, D.C. to Maine's Penobscot Nation, she's bringing attention to the violence Native women face in the United States.
So I have 3 daughters, and they're 2, 15, and 18. So the statistic is 1 in 3 Indigenous women will be the victim of a crime. And I'm always hoping it's me, that I'm saving them from that, you know, because there's 4 of us in my family.
Bryant encourages people to pursue education about Indigenous violence.
And sometimes when people hear about these horrible things, there can be guilt or shame or not knowing how to deal with these feelings. And all we can do is understand the truths about everyone around us and then go forward together.
For more information and resources, visit WabanakiAlliance.com or visit our website at foxbangor.com. On Indian Island, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Bar Harbor voters' decision earlier this month to reject Question 4 will stand following a recount on Saturday. The proposal to increase cruise ship passenger limits has been a years-long debate that divided the town. Our David Ledford was at that recount and spoke with residents on both sides of the issue.
Dozens of Bar Harbor residents gathered at the town's municipal building Saturday to take a second look at the results of the vote on Article 4, which asked voters if they wanted to repeal the town's existing cruise ship ordinance and accept a proposal that would allow more passengers to visit the town on scheduled cruise ship days. On November 5th, voters rejected the proposal by a margin of 63 votes. Saturday, a recount found that decision unchanged by a margin of 65 votes, keeping the number of cruise ship passengers who can come ashore limited to 1,000 per day.
Yes, 1,714. No, 1,779. Blank, 160.
Business owner Kevin DeVoe, who spearheaded the recount effort, says it's not the outcome he was hoping for, but he's glad people on both sides of the issue could work together.
Well, I'm disappointed. It didn't change anything, but we were being realistic. We didn't think that it would change the vote entirely. But we did learn a lot. There's a lot of data, and we learned a lot about the voting process, and so I'm going to go home feeling like we had a win.
Peter Scott, who represented residents opposed to the recount, says the result reaffirms voters' decision to implement a 1,000 passenger cap in 2022.
It's a very fact-specific and a very strong validation of the integrity of our election system. The citizens voted again and again wanted to limit the number of passengers disembarking from cruise ships.
In Bar Harbor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A really contentious issue there.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:09. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll have an update to the nearly 50 Shih Tzus who were seized from a Norridge Walk residence.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. It looks like we'll see sunshine today with a high near 46 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight with lows dropping down to the upper 20s. Tomorrow, a chance of rain and snow near Tuesday with highs near 45. We'll be right back.
High Tide Restaurant and Bar, voted #1 in outdoor seating, offers live music, a banquet room, and a new menu. Come take in the spectacular view of the Penobscot River while enjoying the freshest seafood in town. High Tide Restaurant and Bar, located at 5 South Main Street in Brewer.
I got hurt in a car accident, but I don't have time to deal with a lawyer.
Sure you do. It's easier than you think to hire Lowry and Associates. Just call the twos.
We can tell you in just a few minutes if you may have a case. And that free call could mean the difference of thousands of dollars for you.
The initial call to Lowry and Associates was just a few minutes, and they settled my case for $150,000.
Hurt in a car accident? I'm your go-to guy.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do? Call 222-2222.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Little Miss Davis Sweets and Treats, a home-based business that specializes in homemade baked goods. Everything I bake is made to order. I specialize in baking homemade fudge, brownies, cupcakes, giant cookies, and large gingerbread men.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
High Tide Restaurant and Bar, voted #1 in outdoor seating, offers live music, a banquet room, and a new menu. Come take in the spectacular view of the Penobscot River while enjoying the freshest seafood in town. High Tide Restaurant and Bar, located at 5 South Main Street in Brewer.
When celebrity sketch.
Baseball cap. We didn't quite get there.
Sometimes the art.
He's clearly drawn a baseball cap with a large frontal part. That part's called a visor. Let's give it a shot. Visor? Yeah!
Is in the steal.
Let's see if Team Jaleel can steal this. I'm gonna say garbage truck.
You are correct. Pictionary.
When somebody steals, I don't know why, it is so much fun.
Fun for them.
Yeah. Every weekday.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
An update now on dozens of Shih Tzus and other dogs and cats seized from a Norwich walk home last week. Many have already been adopted by new families. Brad Rogers looks at the conditions inside the home that one state investigator said was not clean or safe enough for animals or people.
Between April and October, Norwich Walk's animal control officer visited the Bouffard home 10 times. The first time he was told they had 17 dogs and some cats. In October, when they served a search warrant, they discovered 49 dogs and 5 cats. According to court papers, the animal control officer encountered multiple dogs and cats and poor living conditions inside the mobile home.
Their fur was covered in feces. They had been living in squalid conditions for a long time, on top of each other.
Animal Refuge League of Greater Portland took in 23 of the dogs. 3 other shelters took in the rest. A court affidavit says the animal control officer gave the families several opportunities to clean their home and the dogs before seizing the animals. The district attorney says the homeowner later decided to give them up.
It was a lot of dogs in such a small home. The living conditions that they had to reside in, no animal should have to live that way.
The Somerset Humane Society shelter took in 3 of the Shih Tzu dogs. The animal control officer says he did advise the family to neuter the animals.
And then if you don't get them spayed and neutered and you're keeping them in the home, it just multiplies. I know that people are struggling to get help as far as spaying and neutering, and I can imagine it can be really hard.
She says there are nonprofits in Maine who do what they can to help struggling families in cases like this. Right now, veterinarians are checking the animals out with the intent of putting all of them up for adoption.
We make sure that they're spayed and neutered before they get adopted, up to date on vaccines, dewormers, flea and tick preventatives, and necessary medical care.
The 3 Shih Tzus taken to the shelter are already in new homes.
And that was Brad Rogers reporting. In other news, a new bill recently introduced by Senator Angus King could have a big impact for Acadia National Park. It would increase funding to continue fixing aging infrastructure in Acadia and at national parks all around the country. David Ledford spoke with Friends of Acadia's president and CEO to learn more about the potential impact of that bill.
America's greatest idea, national parks, needs investment.
There's a new effort in the works to repair and maintain our national parks. The America the Beautiful Act is a new bipartisan bill introduced by Senator Angus King and 3 co-sponsors from other states to preserve and manage the country's public lands.
When you go to a national park, you need roads, you need parking areas, you need restrooms, you need maintenance buildings, you need the carriage roads, you need the trails.
The act would reauthorize a park restoration fund originally passed in 2020 and increase funding to help address growing maintenance needs in national parks. In a statement, Senator King said in part, quote, "This legislation is an important step forward in establishing lasting protections for our public lands and serves as a proud reminder that stewardship is not a partisan issue." In Acadia National Park, Friends of Acadia President and CEO Eric Stiles says maintenance could include repairs to the Jordan Pond House and improvements in well-used areas of the park. He also says funding national parks is essential because of the economic impact they have on the states they're in.
Here at Acadia National Park, again, we get about 4 million visits a year. The total economic input or impact in the private sector down East Main alone is over 650 million.
Stiles says funding park maintenance now can help to preserve the land for future generations. To learn more about the bill, view the story on our website. In studio, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, the time now is 8:15. After the break, people are gearing up to travel home for the holidays, but there are some things you should be aware of before you take flight.
We'll have the story coming up as Good Morning Maine continues.
The holidays, and holiday trips, and holiday toys, and holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 0% financing on the all-new 2025 Equinox. Or current qualified lessees can get this Equinox all-wheel drive for around $299 a month. Visit your Maine Chevy dealers.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Here's this week's featured deal.
The brand new Chung Li Chinese restaurant, located in the Waterville Concourse, offers truly delicious, authentic cooking with the best poo-poo platter in the area. Lunch specials and dinner combinations available for dine-in, takeout, and delivery.
On sale Thursday at 9 a.m. A limited supply available half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the start of Thanksgiving week travel. Good news at the gas station. The nationwide average is now $3.05 a gallon.
That's the lowest price for this time of year since 2001. It comes as the FAA is preparing for a surge of planes in the air by opening military airspace. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington.
This morning, the start of Thanksgiving week travel hit by severe weather. A snowstorm leaving thousands without power in northeastern Pennsylvania.
We were stuck in the snow for a couple hours.
Record rain and snow in northern California.
A call came in from a person who saw a car bobbing in the water.
Today, heavy snow in the west and rain in the Great Lakes. By tomorrow, that snow makes its way into the Rockies. The I-95 corridor on the East Coast is lined with rain. Better driving conditions for the Midwest and East Coast on Wednesday. It comes as AAA is predicting there will be 1.7 million more drivers on the road this year compared to last year.
This is the time of year when most people travel. So already you're comparing a very high number from last year.
TSA is preparing for the more than 50,000 flights tomorrow. To help with the surge of planes, the FAA is opening military airspace off the East Coast and Gulf of Mexico. The FAA also facing a shortage of air traffic controllers.
We will use traffic flow management initiatives to deal with any staffing shortages.
on that particular day in this airspace, and we expect to have some of those shortages.
It comes as there's a spike in car thefts at airport parking lots across the country. In Atlanta, more than 300 vehicles were stolen at its main airport this year, compared to 95 for all of last year. ABC's Faith Abube is there.
Here at the Atlanta airport, officials tell us they've increased parking staff, surveillance cameras, and police patrols. And also more than 24 officers have now been certified to use tire deflation spikes to stop stolen vehicles from leaving this property.
Police say there's a crime ring hitting airports across the South and West. They are reprogramming key fobs, stealing the cars, then driving them to Mexico to be sold. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
All right, the time now is 8:20.
A lot of people hitting the road this week. Let's check out what that forecast holds for us all.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, what New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Here we go. We have gale warnings expiring this morning. Small craft advisory is also up along the coast as well. We're also watching that winter weather advisory further off towards the north and west, where some wintry precipitation, mainly some snow, will be possible with that system that will be passing through. It will expire by Tuesday morning. We'll be watching for that system moving in soon. But wave heights are very active out there this morning at around 1 to 7 feet. According to the buoys, we'll notice further out towards sea, very active at around 15, even 16 feet, according towards some of the buoys further out towards sea. But things will be improving for us coming up rather soon. Let's check things out right now. So we do have an area low pressure right nearby that's causing some snowfall to pass through this morning. We are going to get this out of here throughout the morning period, and the rest of the day will be featuring a partly cloudy sky. There's area low pressure right about in here that will be moving away from us. There's more activity further off towards the west, so we'll be watching for our return for a little bit more action that will be moving in rather soon. Futurecast in the short term showing a partly cloudy sky today. The wind will be a little bit active at times, but that will be calming down later on tonight. We will have a partly cloudy sky coming up later on tonight as well. Notice the winds will be relaxing. And then for your Tuesday, some rain snow opportunities, switching over to rainfall later into the afternoon and evening time frame with some more warmer air that will be moving in by Tuesday afternoon to the evening time frame too. But it gets out of here pretty quickly. By Wednesday morning, we will be done with that system. So as for the snowfall, again, further off towards the north, maybe a few inches or so before we're all finished up. Nothing too extreme here, maybe just enough to cause some slippery conditions, while other areas, though, no snowfall expected. It will mainly fall as rainfall. Here's a measurement of the water here. So this is rain and melted down snow forecasted, around a ½ inch or less possible before we're all finished up there. And for later on this week, we will be watching for another system that will be moving in by Thursday afternoon. Some rain and snow opportunities will be expected. Gusty winds by Thursday night too, with some rain and snow opportunities, but it gets out of here pretty quickly. By Friday afternoon, we will be done with it. There's some uncertainty with this system right now, so stay tuned as we keep an eye on that system as well. So your forecast coming up for today. Here's what we got. Partly cloudy and windy with highs in the mid-40s and that northwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 20s under a partly cloudy sky, northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mid-40s, rain and snow changing over to all rain, and a southeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Partly cloudy on Wednesday with highs in the mid-40s. For Thanksgiving, rain and snow switching over, or actually some rain and snow showers, I should say, with highs in the low 40s. Then some more rain and snow showers Friday with highs in the low 40s.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or current qualified Chevy lessees can get this Silverado for around $359 a month. Visit your Maine Chevy dealer.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Don't get cold feet this winter. Stay warm and dry with high-performance footwear from Comfort Shoes and More. With an extensive selection of winter boots rated from 0 to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll find comfort in knowing your feet will be warm in any weather. Discover the latest in functional and fashionable footwear with grippers built right into the sole. With boots in stock up to 6E and size 17 for men and women. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
Incoming dishes! Doc! Dawn Power Wash flies through 99% of grease and grime in half the time.
Yeah, it absorbs grease 5 times faster. Even replaces multiple cleaning products.
Ooh, those suds got game.
Dawn Power Wash, the better grease getter.
She's the apple of his eye.
Ta-da! What do you think?
You look beautiful. And you're grounded. She may be a tomboy.
You're so lucky you get to be in junior G.I. Joes. And you're lucky I don't want to get blood on my uniform.
But she's still Daddy's little girl. Sit down, I want to talk to you for a minute.
This isn't a sex talk, is it? Because I already know more than I'd like to.
Learn all about Eve. Am I supposed to understand what you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
On Last Man Standing.
Weekdays at 3 on Fox 22.
In Washington, 2 of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet nominees are facing growing scrutiny. Critics claim former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is, quote, a sympathizer for Russia and Syria, while Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth faces questions about his history with women. ABC's Perry Russum has the latest.
This morning, senators on both sides of the aisle suggesting at least 2 of President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees face an uphill battle to be confirmed. That includes Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's pick for Director of National Intelligence. Senator Tammy Duckworth calls Gabbard compromised, citing Gabbard's 2017 trip to Syria.
I mean, Russian-controlled media called her a Russian asset. So I do think that we have a real deep concern whether or not she's a compromised person.
Senator Mark Wayne Mullen taking issue with Duckworth's comment.
I got a lot of respect for Tammy, and I've known her for years. We served together in the House, but for her to say ridiculous and outright dangerous words like that is wrong. If she was compromised, if she wasn't able to pass a background check, if she wasn't able to do her job, she still wouldn't be in the Army.
Trump's nominee for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has come under scrutiny after a police report revealed a woman accused him of sexual assault in 2017. The Army vet denies the allegations and was never charged. Republican Senator Joni Ernst telling Politico the claims are worthy of a discussion. Senator Bill Hagerty calling Hegseth a very talented person.
Don't let these allegations distract us. What we need is real significant change. The Pentagon has been more focused on pronouns than they have lethality the past 4 years.
Trump nominating Dr. Marty Makary to lead the FDA. He is a surgeon and author who opposed vaccine mandates during the pandemic. It comes as new questions are being raised over how Trump's transition is being funded. Trump's team has reportedly not signed a document with the Biden administration that would allocate federal funding for the transition to pay for things like staff and travel. That's raising concern about private donations and potential conflicts of interests.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau faces criticism from lawmakers in his country after protests Friday night in Montreal turned violent, with some saying Trudeau has not done enough to keep the situation under control. Fox's Madeline Rivera with that story.
Montreal police say there are more protests scheduled for today and tomorrow as a NATO conference takes place in the city. They say they are prepared for any scenario after Friday's anti-NATO and pro-Palestinian demonstrations turned violent. Authorities say windows were smashed and 2 cars were set on fire. Police deployed pepper spray to break the crowd apart. At least 3 people were charged with obstructing police work and 1 officer suffered minor injuries. That same night, this video was captured showing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau dancing at a Taylor Swift concert miles away in Toronto. A Conservative member of Canada's Parliament, Don Stewart, posted the video on X and said this: "Lawless protesters run roughshod over Montreal in violent protest. The Prime Minister dances. This is the Canada built by the Liberal government. Bring back law and order, safe streets and communities in the Canada we once knew and loved." Yesterday morning, Trudeau released a statement online denouncing the violence, and he says, "What we saw on the streets of Montreal last night was appalling. Acts of anti-Semitism, intimidation, and violence must be condemned wherever we see them. The RCMP are in communication with local police. There must be consequences and rioters held accountable." The protesters are denying the claims of anti-Semitism, saying they're demonstrating against the, quote, ongoing complicity of NATO countries in the war in the Middle East. Montreal police say they are expecting more arrests from Friday night as they comb through surveillance footage. In Washington, Mather Rivera, Fox News.
And coming up on the second half of the newscast, this weekend we saw the return of the Bangor Harvest Festival in Bangor for its 12th year.
We'll take you there as Good Morning Maine continues.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call Joe Bornstein, right now.
Call the firm that has been getting justice for Mainers for 50 years. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe.
A family-owned and operated business since 1953, Hammond Lumber Company recognizes the value of their team members and the importance of employee satisfaction. Hammond is honored to have been named one of the best places to work in Maine for the 4th consecutive year, and Hammond was once again selected as one of the best places to work in New Hampshire by Business New Hampshire magazine. Hammond is always looking for great people to join their team. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
He lose his shirt.
I've never seen anybody lose their shirt.
Do you think they made him pay triple?
Who's the law firm?
The law offices of Joe Bornstein. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Everyone, today is Monday, November 25th, 2024. It's also the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women.
Of course, last month was Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This day is kind of an international day. It was created by the United Nations General Assembly, designated in 1999. It's estimated that up to 70% of women have experienced violence from an intimate partner. That's a lot. Up to 35% of women worldwide have also been physically or sexually assaulted by a non-partner. Women and girls also account for 71% of all human trafficking victims. This day was created to raise awareness about the problem and to encourage actions to reduce and hopefully eliminate it. And if you're seeking help or if you want any information in the Penobscot and Piscataquis counties, I believe those are the two main counties that Partners for Peace helps. They are a domestic violence resource center, so whether you need immediate help, they have a helpline, but they also just have really helpful information out there and a really fantastic staff who do everything they can to help people.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do have a big domestic violence problem here in Maine. One of the first steps to solving it is to talk about it.
Right.
And put it out there. People have conversations.
Absolutely. And if you want to support Partners for Peace and this problem immediately, in just a few minutes, we'll have a spokesperson on from Partners for Peace to talk about how you can help.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Meanwhile, on this day in history, back in 1783, following the conclusion of the Revolutionary War, the last remaining British troops in the U.S. were evacuated from New York City. They were sent packing back home. In 1867, Swedish chemist and engineer Alfred Nobel received a patent for inventing dynamite. That really changed a lot of things in the U.S. He was also known for bequeathing his fortune to establish the Nobel Prizes. And in 1947, movie studio executive agreed to blacklist the Hollywood 10, who were jailed a day earlier on contempt of Congress charges. They were all cited for refusing to cooperate with the House Un-American Activities Committee that was formed to root out communism here in the U.S.
Kind of a part of McCarthyism.
Yeah.
In 1950, the so-called storm of the century struck the eastern part of the U.S., killing hundreds and causing millions of dollars in damages. Some states were buried in several feet of snow, making travel nearly impossible. I believe I've seen photos of Bangor from that storm, and it's pretty crazy to see all that snow.
Yeah, we don't get them like that anymore, it doesn't seem like anyway.
I know, it doesn't seem like it. All right, now, in 1963, the body of President John F. Kennedy was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery, just 3 days after he was killed by an assassin in Dallas, Texas. An estimated 1 million people lined the procession route to his final resting place. And in 1986, it was revealed that the U.S. had secretly been selling arms to Iran, and the proceeds were illegally diverted to the anti-communist rebels in Nicaragua. The matter led to televised congressional hearings that revealed the Reagan administration and others had attempted to cover up their illicit deals.
The Iran-Contra affair, as it became known, was a huge deal at the time. Well, today's birthdays, they include singer Amy Grant, who is 64 years old today. Actor Billy Burke turns 58. And former First Daughter and TV host Jenna Bush Hager turns 43 years old today. Of course, it's also her sister Barbara's birthday. I only had three available things to put pictures on there.
Right.
Her twin sister Barbara. So
happy
we wish them a happy birthday. And my mom Brenda, happy birthday. She
Brenda.
might be up now.
Yeah.
She might be having her first cup of coffee.
Right.
But
well, when you're retired, you get up whenever you want to.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
So hopefully mom has a good day today.
Yeah. Okay, it's a beautiful start to the week. It's kind of nicer than it's been the past couple of days, but we may be in store for a rainy, snowy mix tomorrow.
Looks nice today, lots of sunshine, and it's that time of year we're right on the edge as far as temperature, so it could either be frozen precipitation or not.
Right.
So we'll see a little bit of that tomorrow and maybe later on in the week too.
Yep. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Here we go this morning. Some advisories to talk about. We have a gale warning posted until 7 a.m. this morning along the coast, as we've been watching for active surf recently. Also, some advisories further off towards the north with a winter weather advisory that'll run through Tuesday afternoon because of some opportunities for some snow that will be moving in rather soon. Meanwhile, this morning we've had some snow showers tracking in from the north and going toward the south. This will be getting out of here throughout the morning period, and in fact, we have a nice day on the way. Once it clears up the rest of the day, we'll be looking rather dry. There's the area low pressure right about in here just off to the north that's sending the snowfall in our direction, and again, that will be clearing out this morning. As for Futurecast, we're showing that partly cloudy sky today. A little breezy at times, but notice the winds will be backing off later on tonight with just some passing clouds as we head towards early Tuesday morning. So for today, we have mid-40s, partly cloudy and windy, and that northwest wind gusting up to about 30 miles per hour at times. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing that partly cloudy sky with temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, hundreds packed the Cross Insurance Center over the weekend for the return of the annual Maine Harvest Festival.
Our Grace Blanchard takes us there.
So this is the 12th annual Harvest Fest, and it's the first year that it's free at the Cross Insurance Center.
One of the Cross Insurance Center's biggest events of the year made its annual return, featuring over 80 local vendors, craftsmen, and artisans.
We love this event. This time of year, we like to say we're celebrating the harvest, and yeah, we just love to bring all local people together.
The Maine Potato Board has been sponsoring the Maine Harvest Festival since its inception.
We've actually almost doubled the amount of vendors from last year, so that's been fantastic. And with it being free, it's giving these vendors a lot more opportunity to be able to showcase what they do.
From farm fresh produce to handmade crafts, vendors say there is something for everyone, making it a great kickoff to the holiday season.
We spend a lot of time talking to the other vendors. Everybody always has great ideas, and we sort of bounce those off each other.
Many locals say they look forward to coming back each year.
My friend and I, Robin, come here almost every year. We love the variety of stuff that's here. It's unique. It's a lot of it's homemade.
It's always fun to talk to local artisans.
Yeah.
They're so creative, and they have lots of great ideas that you wouldn't think of yourself.
Yes.
On a day-to-day basis.
True.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Pretty good turnout, too.
Yeah, it's making my mouth water. All sorts of good snacks there. Okay, right after the break, Jack Webb will have our sports updates. Plus, we'll have that interview with a person from Partners for Peace to talk about how you can help domestic violence survivors this holiday season.
Don't go away.
Oh no! Son of a nutcracker. This is what I get for eating all those cookies. Hey, Roto-Rooter, I got a big clog for you. I'm stuck in the chimney. Again. Yep, I'm the clog. Any chance you could fa-la-la over here?
For all your holiday plumbing needs, Roto-Rooter can save the day.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Wow, where has this been my entire life? Having to clean with multiple products is a hassle. With Magic Eraser, I use it on everyday messes. I even use it on things that I think are impossible to clean. You need Mr. Clean Magic Eraser in your life.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, chances are you have a lot of questions. Norm Prouty has answers. Learn some tips and tricks and explore some beautiful new homes on the market. The Norm Prouty and Donnell Baker Real Estate Show, Sunday mornings at 8:30 on Fox 22.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
There's no reason to be overwhelmed. No. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
I'm Carl Allenberg, Chief of Police. I found the body.
Fox's new mystery series, Murder in a Small Town, is compelling with killer guest stars.
Accidents happen.
And you can watch it anytime. And every Tuesday,
You ready for this?
there's a new mystery to be solved.
My husband is missing.
I'm gonna kill you! I swear!
How are your murders?
It's gonna be a busy couple days.
Murder in a Small Town, all new Tuesdays on Fox, and watch anytime on Hulu.
Sundays, NFL coverage starts with Fox NFL Kickoff at 11.
This is great TV.
Then Fox NFL Sunday at noon. The best NFL pregame shows are only on Fox.
Welcome back in, folks. It was the final day of football in the state of Maine between state championship games and the Black Bears. Let's begin with the Class A state championship game, where we had a rematch of last year's final. Defending state champs Thornton Academy and the Portland Bulldogs are at Fitzpatrick Stadium, home of the Bulldogs actually, to square off for the Class A title. We picked this one up in the second half. Portland up 6-0. Bulldogs punting in their end zone, but it gets blocked as Connor Ayub falls on it for the touchdown, after the PAT. It's 7-6 Trojans. Later in the third, it's Portland's quarterback Thurston takes it 81 yards to the house. Look at it, he gets around the edge of the defense, and he will not be caught there in his home stadium of Fitzpatrick Stadium. 14-7 after the two-point conversion. Late in the quarter, the Bulldogs break it open as Thurston airs one out to Aiden McCowan with a beautiful throw and catch for 64 yards. 21-7 Bulldogs. They would take control from there. The Portland Bulldogs win their first state championship in 22 years, 35-14 over Thornton Academy. We head to Class B now for Kennebunk and Falmouth. Both teams coming into today's game sporting perfect 10-0 records, but the Navs will come out smoking in the first quarter. Trace Walker airing one out to Abraham Winterstein, a 38-yard touchdown strike, 7-0 Navigators. Second quarter now, here come the Rams defense coming through with great pressure. That leads to a Calvin Johnson pick six. What a score there for the Rams. Falmouth was up at half, 17-6. A kickoff return after a Falmouth field goal. Kennebunk's Jaden Homa fields the ball, and he's off to the races. 88 yards for the kickoff return to get the Rams back in it, down 20-13. But the Navs would throw the knockout punch. Here's Giovanni Goret taking it down the sidelines, 80 yards to the house. The Navigators score their first ever football state championship, 26-13 over Kennebunk. Now it's Herman and Freiburg Academy battling for the Class C state title. We pick it up in the second quarter, already 14-0 Freiburg Academy. But Tyler Corson, he'll keep his eye on this ball as it goes through a Raiders' fingertips, and he makes the catch to try to give Herman some life here. But later that drive, it's 4th and goal. Herman looking to score, but Daniel Ruiz picks off the quarterback, and he almost takes it to the end zone, scrambling, tries to weave his way towards the end of the half. They would hold the 14-0 lead going into the break. Third quarter now, it's Ruiz, this time on offense, taking it into the end zone to extend the Raider lead 21-0. And to cap it off, it's Malik Sow, who powers his way into the end zone to make it 28-0. That score would stand, and Freiburg Academy captures the Class C state championship. Here's what Sow had to say after the game.
So our goal was to beat Levitt and make it to the state championship, and now winning on that field with a great atmosphere, with a great opponent. They battled hard, but we were just tougher at the end. It was awesome feeling, amazing. I can't describe it.
To Class D now. It's a rematch of last year's game. The Wells Warriors taking on the Foxcroft Academy Ponies. And the Wells would start hot. Eli Potter opens the scoring to make it 7-0 Warriors after the extra point. Second quarter now, it's Dom Buxton. He takes the handoff and gets in the end zone for 6, almost untouched. That would make it 14-0 Wells. They take full control of this one to start. Ponies trying to mount a comeback, however, as Griffin Caruso connects with Silas Topolsky for the long bomb. Silas weaves in and out of defenders until he's finally brought down, but they would end up with no points on that drive. However, then towards the end of the game, it's Dominic Cabanero. He takes the sweep to the house, and Wells goes on to win their second straight Class D state championship. Heading up to Orono now, where the Black Bears are looking to take home the Bryce Cowell Musket for the first time since 2021. Senior day for the Black Bears as they look to play spoiler against UNH, who are trying to hold on to that playoff spot they're vying for. First quarter now, Seth Morgan drops back, throws it under duress, only to find freshman Devin Vaught, who gets the interception to set Maine up well. Next Maine drive, however, Carter Peavy drops back, float ones into the end zone to find who else but Montego Moss, a one-handed catch with his dad, Randy Moss, in attendance. Maine takes a 6-0 lead. We got to watch that again in slow motion. What a catch by Tego. Even gets a hurdle over here. Look at this. Gets that right foot down while he's in control of the ball. Will hurdle the gate right after that. Just an amazing catch by Tego. He's doing that week in and week out. Fourth down for New Hampshire at the 1 in the final seconds of the first half. Morgan hands it off to Gibson for the touchdown as UNH cuts that lead to 9-7 heading into the half. And then here it is. First play of the second half. Morgan hands it off to Curtis Mead, who runs it up the sideline. We're fast forwarding here because it was a long run. 57 yards to the house to give UNH a 14-9 lead. UNH would not look back. They scored 27 straight points to take home the Musket once again, winning 27-9. Tough one for the Black Bears. They'll finish the season 5-7.
Whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or any commercial vehicle, we know how to get you the big money you may deserve.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you.
Nothing feels as good as driving a new Hyundai. And now you can get a great deal on your favorite model at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this offer ends. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Get an all-wheel drive Santa Fe for 1.99% APR for up to 72 months or lease for $269 a month. Hurry in.
Can your pad absorb everything and stay fresh? Always Flex Foam can. It's the only pad made with the flexible foam core that locks in blood and sweat while the top stays dry, keeping you up to 100% leak and odor-free. See what foam can do for you.
Did you know sweat from stress is actually smellier than other kinds of sweat? That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It works on sweat from stress, heat, and activity. It provides 3 times stress sweat protection. Secret works.
When Northern Power Wash Company, located in Bangor, wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Northern Power Wash provides outstanding pressure washing, window and gutter cleaning services to Eastern and Central Maine. Call Todd at 881-3680 today for a free estimate.
Harvey High is now in session. Today's subjects, science.
Name something that can make the earth move.
Heavy rain.
Hold on, it raining.
Health class.
Something you drop in the toilet and still use it afterward.
Toothbrush.
Nah, I'm not sticking that in my mouth. We're not doing teeth brushing today.
Get schooled with Family Feud.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Casey Fulkingham. She's the Director of Development and Engagement for Partners for Peace, and she's here today to talk about a really important thing that they're doing for local domestic violence survivors. They're collecting Visa gift cards for this holiday season. Casey, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
Of course. So can we talk a little bit about this program and why it's so important to give domestic violence survivors direct financial support like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is called the Be a Light gift card drive. We've done it for the past
3 years, I believe. And it's in lieu of a holiday program. And it allows us to collect Visa gift cards, Walmart gift cards, Hannaford gift cards, and other gift cards are also welcome, because you're right, it's the direct financial support to survivors that allows them the autonomy to be able to prioritize their needs during a time that is financially stressful.
Right. I know the holidays are so stressful for so many reasons, especially for people who have survived abuse, but this just takes something off their shoulders.
Yes, it does, because a lot of domestic violence survivors experience that financial abuse, and then from there, just so many economic barriers to having their basic needs met, and therefore find safety and peace in their lives. So this program benefits our residential program, which includes our shelter and our transitional housing program, and it allows survivors to be able to do that fun Christmas shopping, and also have the meals and the gathering of being able to have a meal with their family in a way that's just supportive. Yeah, to make happy, safe memories while they're staying with us and getting back on their feet.
Right, because that transition, I can't imagine, that can be so disruptive to your well-being and to your children's well-being, and you already went through a traumatic event.
Exactly, and we want to just help out as much as we can. We have a very generous community that wants to help out, and this is a great way to do it. You know, if you're out and about Black Friday shopping or shopping for your holiday meals, just grab a gift card and donate it, and it's going to go to a really, really special place.
Directly helping the community. And you know, when I think about when we ask this question, or when it's asked about in, you know, the ether of, well, why didn't you just leave? I think oftentimes the financial thing can be one of the biggest ones,
It
right?
really can. It really can. When we survey domestic violence survivors, that is one of the top barriers, because rent is so expensive right now. We know that it is, and there's a lack of housing vouchers. And so when a survivor and their family, their children, can stay in our shelter, we can help them find permanent housing after that. It takes some time. It takes a lot of time. And even outside of this program, we accept gift cards year-round. We accept donations year-round, and survivors outside of our residential program can call our helpline, and we can often help with other forms of financial assistance.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's really helpful information. Yeah, you guys are always looking for help, and it's a very well-deserving cause.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I saw, too, that you're hoping you can get these donations by December 1st, right?
We are hoping to get them by December 1st, because then we can distribute them in time for survivors to use them. At the same time, if it comes, you know, in later, and like I said, year-round, survivors need assistance year-round.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing this important information with us.
Thank you, Emma.
Of course. Thanks, Casey. We'll send it over to Devin Biggs for our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, when New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Here we go. We have gale warnings expiring this morning. Small craft advisory is also up along the coast as well. We're also watching that winter weather advisory further off towards the north and west, where some wintry precipitation, mainly some snow, will be possible with that system that will be passing through. It will expire by Tuesday morning. We'll be watching for that system moving in soon. But wave heights are very active out there this morning at around 1 to 7 feet. According to the buoys, we'll notice further out towards sea, very active at around 15, even 16 feet, according towards some of the buoys further out towards sea. But things will be improving for us coming up rather soon. Let's check things out right now. So we do have an area low pressure right nearby that's causing some snowfall to pass through this morning. We are going to get this out of here throughout the morning period, and the rest of the day will be featuring a partly cloudy sky. There's area low pressure right about in here. That will be moving away from us. There's more activity further off towards the west, so we'll be watching for our return for a little bit more action that will be moving in rather soon. Futurecast in the short term showing a partly cloudy sky today. The wind will be a little bit active at times, but that will be calming down later on tonight. We will have a partly cloudy sky coming up later on tonight as well. Notice the winds will be relaxing evening. And then for your Tuesday, some rain, snow opportunities, switching over to rainfall later into the afternoon and evening time frame with some more warmer air that will be moving in by Tuesday afternoon to the evening time frame too. But it gets out of here pretty quickly. By Wednesday morning, we will be done with that system. So as for the snowfall, again, farther off towards the north, maybe a few inches or so before we're all finished up. Nothing too extreme here, maybe just enough to cause some slippery conditions, while other areas, though, no snowfall expected. It will mainly fall as rainfall. Here's a measurement of the water here. So this is rain and melted down snow forecasted, around a half an inch or less possible before we're all finished up there. And for later on this week, we will be watching for another system that will be moving in by Thursday afternoon. Some rain and snow opportunities will be expected. Gusty winds by Thursday night too, with some rain and snow opportunities, but it gets out of here pretty quickly. By Friday afternoon, we will be done with it. There's some uncertainty with this system right now, so stay tuned as we keep an eye on that system as well. So your forecast coming up for today. Here's what we got. Partly cloudy and windy with highs in the mid-40s and that northwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 20s under a partly cloudy sky, northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mid-40s, rain and snow changing over to all rain, and that southeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Partly cloudy on Wednesday with highs in the mid-40s. For Thanksgiving, rain and snow switching over, or actually some rain and snow showers, I should say, with highs in the low 40s. Then some more rain and snow showers Friday with highs in the low 40s.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Brackish River Bistro, sharing the Winterport Winery and Penobscot Bay Brewery building. We have an incredible breakfast menu, brunch specials, plus we're open nightly for dinner and drinks. Take the drive to Winterport and taste what the Brackish River Bistro is all about.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
As a child, you just couldn't keep me out of the puddles. That's where the acorn essentially was planted. As we got started, we had nothing in the bank, we were cash poor. That was just a one-man show. The support of my credit union, starting the business, the banking advice, when you can call them and they're there for you, that's tremendous. It's been a great asset for me and for my company's growth. It's really an exciting time, and my credit union made that possible.
Ye Olde General, located in Carmel, has everything you could ever need. Whether it be kerosene, regular or ethanol-free gasoline, wood pellets, a fresh-cooked pizza, or fried food, they've got you covered. Looking to get a stiff drink after work? Ye Olde General is an agency liquor store with a great selection of alcohol. Ye Olde General can help with your next home project, carrying carpentry supplies from hammers and nails to specialty nuts and bolts. They have what you need to get the job done. Stop by Ye Olde General today. If you don't think they'll have it, they probably do.
The first time you try Bounce, it hits you. Your laundry feels way fresher, softer. So you start to wonder, if I put a sheet of Bounce on the finance guy, will it make him softer? Bounce can't do it all. But for better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
The City of Light has even more lights than usual right now. On Sunday, the Christmas lights were switched on along with the Camp-Élysées, what does that say? Champs-Élysées? I can never pronounce that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's that famous thing down in Paris. A famous avenue known for its shopping. I cannot ever say that. All right, it's known for its nightlife as well. Anyway, multicolored bulbs and sparkling projections of light can be seen along many avenues of the capital of France. The Christmas lights are a major attraction for tourists as well as Parisians. Visitors come from all over the world to admire the streets decked out in the colors of the season. Sunday's festivities also included fireworks at the Arc de Triomphe. I do that too. See, I don't know, I can't give you any French words.
I don't know any French words either. I know Spanish I could do, but not French.
Oui.
Right. Well, it's a shame because we're so close to Quebec.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
And I grew up in Texas, so I took Spanish. I know a little enough Spanish to get myself into trouble, but yeah.
That's good.
But,
it's always good. Okay.
Arc de Triomphe.
Arc de Triomphe. I don't know either.
People out there that know, they're like, oh my gosh.
This is a shame, Craig.
Yeah.
Okay, well, finally now, 2 turkeys, not talking about us, from Minnesota have been brought to the nation's capital, but they will not be ending up on a holiday dinner table. President Biden will be granting the 2 birds a pardon at the White House today. It's a Thanksgiving tradition that dates back to 1947 when President Truman was in office. The National Turkey Federation coordinated the turkeys' trip to Washington. John Zimmerman, the Federation's chairman, along with his family, raised the 2 turkeys on their farm in Northfield. The 2 birds named Peach and Blossom are being referred to as VITs, which stands for Very Important Turkeys. Of course, I cannot think about this time of year at all without thinking of that iconic moment from George W. Bush's time of pardoning the turkeys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the most notable one to me.
It's become a thing. You know, I was actually reading earlier, it really began with Abraham Lincoln. Somebody gifted him a turkey, and his son became in love with it, and so they decided to pardon it
As
back
a pet,
then.
yeah.
So anyway, we got to get out of here.
All right, looks like we're running out of time. If you missed anything, head to foxbangor.com.
Have a good one, everyone.
Today on 25 Words or Less, a man who, for some reason, was called the Lucky Pierre of the Key and Peele writers' room. It's Colton Dunn.
Lucky Pierre.